Hey guys, it's me. It's Queen Osset Haru. And thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Alright guys, so if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to someone else who may need to hear this as well. Now today I want to talk about marriage vows. A lot of people I know are getting married right now. I'm actually in a wedding. October, I think it's the 5th. My little brother is getting married and I'm one of the bridesmaids. My little cousin just got married. Another one got married and another one is getting married. So my family is really big. So a lot of people right now are getting married. So this led me to think about marriage vows. And I was talking to my godfather and I was talking to other people who were married. And it seems really strange to me that when I talked to them about the vows they took, nobody, some of them didn't even think about them before they said them. And I just thought it was weird because we're talking about intelligent people who would read any contract before signing it, you know? But they didn't even consider this contract before signing it. They considered in certain cases if they wanted to do it or not, or how they felt about it. Like my godfather said, he knew he was down. He knew he was down and he was going to stand his ground and be a good husband. That was what he had in his mind. But he didn't think about the vows and what they said and what they meant. So I read them to him and I read excerpts of the vows to other people, and we all kind of just pondered and we're like, wow, did you really think about? And none of them really thought about what it meant. And as we were talking about it, they were like, wow, they were even kind of blown away, and they've taken these vows. And I was saying, that's one thing that as a priestess, as a shaman, as any kind of initiate into any spiritual system, including like Islam, Catholicism, Christianity, everybody has some type of vow. Like a baptism is an initiation. There's some kind of vow, there's some kind of initiation. There's something where you promise to do a certain thing. You promise to go by the ways of Allah. My vow personally, I promise not to hurt anybody. Christians promise to be like Christ. Everybody has a different vow that they say. And I think that people think about it more when it's more of a spiritual thing than they even do in a marriage. But a marriage is a spiritual thing too. It's a spiritual, emotional, mental, and legal, which is the physical part thing. So today I just wanted to talk to you guys about the marriage vows. And for any of you, because a lot of you want to get married, a lot of you have told me that you want to get married. And I really want to make sure that before you go down that road, you have thought about and considered what it is that you're saying. Okay? Now, first and foremost, what is a vow? Let's go right into a working definition. A vow is a solemn promise. A solemn promise to do a specific thing. In the old days, it meant to dedicate to someone or something, especially a deity. So a vow has at every root, if it's a noun, if it's a verb, if it's the archaic version, it has the same word, promise. Okay? So then it becomes, what did you promise? Now, if you're savvy like I am, you wrote your own vows. So if you're married, or if you're a widow, or if you intend to get married one day, one thing, if you're savvy, a smart thing to do is to write your own vows. Why is that? Because you can say in the vows exactly what you promise. You see? Let's take the average Christian. First, we're going to take two things. We're going to take the Christian vows, and then we're going to look at the Hindu vows, because I was very interested at how they look as well. So we're all familiar with this one. I take blank to be the lawfully wedded husband or wife. Now listen to what you're promising. To have and to hold from this day forward. To have and to hold can be I guess kind of define however you want to define that. To have and to hold to me sounds like intimacy, sounds like, holding physically. Having sounds like being with the person, but we could argue that, that depends on how you take it. And it said from this day forward. So from this day forward, you will be having and holding this person. Now, that sounds pretty straightforward, right? Then listen to the next part. For better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish till death do us part, according to God's holy ordinance. And thereto I pledge thee my faith, or pledge myself to you. Now, many people don't say the whole thing. Most people stop at till death do us part. But it's still the same vibration, even if you stop right there. So let's go back to what you've promised after to have and to hold. You've promised for better or worse. So you're saying in good times, when things are happy, when we're doing well, when we're eating good, when the lights are on, when everything is going according to plan, that's better. When we're in a good space, we're getting along well. And then there's for worse, which is when things aren't so great, when things aren't so wonderful, when you've lost your job, when you're angry with each other, when you're fighting, when you've had a miscarriage, when you've lost a home, when you've lost a car, when you lost a family member, So it's saying that, again, from this day forward, for better or for worse, I'm going to be here for you. And I just don't think a lot of people are thinking about this, what this means, Because for a lot of people, I know myself, as soon as the worst part comes up, I'm automatically thinking, do I want to do this or not? So if you're going to do this, you have to know that you can stand in that worst part, Now, mind you, in our society, we have divorce for a reason. Because there may be a situation where you've said these vows and the other person has broken them. At that point, a contract is null and void if the other person breaks it. So there are some fail-safes here, but I'm not talking about in that case. I'm talking about every day-to-day kind of stuff. Not an infidelity or, something like that, but just day-to-day kind of stuff. The next one is for richer or poorer. So no matter what happens with the money, if it's coming in, if it's not coming in, that you are going to continue to be there. And I know for a fact, even I can even talk about myself, I can do bad alone. So if we come to the poorer part, that's going to be a real challenge for me. And it's probably a real challenge for a lot of people. Remember, a lot of couples break up. The second biggest reason after infidelity is money. So that's already in the vows. You've already supposed to consider that before you take the vow. The next one, in sickness and in health. How many times has somebody gotten sick and the other person left the relationship? Because they didn't or couldn't want to take care of the other person. So again, you promised that in these vows. The next part says to love and to cherish. Now, loving and cherishing somebody, I think, can be seen in a number of different ways. Remember, everybody has a different love language. So when I read that, what I get from it is, I'm going to love you in your love languages, and you're going to love me in my love languages. But somebody else reading that might not hear that, or they might not even know about love languages, So they might just be thinking, I'm going to give you love and I'm going to cherish you. And remember, cherish means to treat somebody like they're a precious thing. So when you hear these vows, when you really break them down, you are promising to really be in a very serious commitment. And I don't think everybody is peeping that from back deep. I just don't. I think people, if they make a vow to be a priestess, if they make a vow to be something like that, I think we have a tendency to understand the vows and think about them more than most people do. But again, it's still a promise. Okay? So I just want you guys to think about it, because I know a lot of people want to get married, and they want to get married for different reasons, and I think they really should look over this before making that decision. The last thing I wanted to say is that I have here some Hindu wedding vows. And I really wanted to, I mean, they said here that Hindus don't do a vow, per se, but they do have some element of ritual in their wedding ceremony. So I wanted to read a little piece of it because I thought it was really beautiful. And again, it shows, in my opinion, the seriousness of the commitment that you're making. It says, let us take the first step to provide for our households a nourishing and pure diet, avoiding those foods injurious to healthy living. So look, they're taking it to a level of saying how they're going to stay healthy. So they're doing the same thing, but they're breaking it down. Let us take the second step to develop physical, mental, and spiritual powers. Deep. So they're going to work together on their spirit and spirituality. Amazing energy. Love that. Let us take the third step to increase our wealth by righteous means and proper use. Let us take the fourth step to acquire knowledge, happiness, and harmony by mutual love and trust. Let us take the fifth step so that we are blessed with strong, virtuous, and heroic children. Virtuous and heroic children. Let us take the sixth step for self-restraint and longevity. Finally, let us take the seventh step and be true companions and remain lifelong partners by this wedlock. Now, all of these vows to me are really beautiful. And as I'm looking at them, it does have me thinking, like, I would definitely want to write my own, and I would want it to be something more closely to the Hindu one. I like that a lot. I would love it to be something more closely to that. But my point in doing this video and speaking to you about this is I want you to look at these vows. If you want to get married, if you're getting married, if you are married, look at these vows and really think about what you promised or you are promising one day, And remember how serious and how beautiful these promises are, okay? And make sure that your partner is coming into it and you're coming into this with that as the center of your focus. Not a pretty dress, not a big party, because that open bar is the truth. In America, we usually have an open bar and it is the truth, okay? But not that, but because you and your partner really mean this. You really mean it. I didn't mean my vows when I said them. I just said them because I wanted to be married, because I wanted to be in a certain space socially. That's not a good idea. That's why I'm not married no more. But when you say those vows, let it be because that's severely what's in your heart. The same way you would devote yourself to a deity, devote yourself to your love, to your relationship, to your commitment, to building this life of mutual love and trust together. Okay? That's my piece. But I'm a second, what am I, second, or am I a third? I can't remember what my decan is right now. But whatever it is, I think it's the third decan. I'm a third decan Aquarius. And we are known to be the sappy lovers of the Aquarius group. So I think that that's probably why it touched me so deeply. But I just wanted to make sure that other people were thinking about this and getting into these kinds of commitments for the right reasons. All right, guys, it's time for me to get going. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And underneath here, if you want to contact me, every way that you possibly can will be there. See you later.